Aloha everyone, and this is the breaking news edition of the Kilauea Eruption and Leilani Estates update for August 14th, 2018. Tonight's USGS report reads a little bit differently than what we've been seeing lately, and it's got a little bit of a length to it, so we're going to get right to it. The USGS reports for Tuesday, August 14th, 2018 at 9:31 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Activity and hazards overview. Kilauea Volcano has remained quiet for over a week now, with no further collapse events at the summit. And, with the exception of a small, crusted over pond of lava deep inside the Fissure 8 cone and a few scattered ocean entries, there is no lava flowing in the lower East Rift Zone. Earthquake and deformation data show no net accumulation, withdrawal, or significant movement of subsurface magma or pressurization as would be expected if the system was building towards a resumption of activity. It is too soon to tell if this change represents a temporary lull or the end of the lower East Rift Zone eruption and or summit collapse activity. In 1955, similar pauses of 5 and 16 days occurred during an 88-day-long lower East Rift Zone eruption. During the Mauna Ula eruption, 1969 to 1974, a 3.5-month pause occurred in late 1971. Despite the eruptive pause, hazardous conditions remain in the lower East Rift Zone and at the summit as described below. The Fissure 8 craters still host a small amount of lava that currently does not enter the existing channel. Should the eruption rate increase, the configuration of outflow around the vent could change, sending lava in new directions. Possible flow paths to the north have been outlined in HVO's 2018 Lower East Rift Zone Hazard Assessment. The link will be in the description. Resupply of magma could lead to the reactivation of fissures other than Fissure 8 or the opening of entirely new fissures along the East Rift Zone. Please note they said East Rift Zone, potentially leading to the new areas being inundated by lava. The new lava flow field in the lower East Rift Zone includes large areas of still hot, rugged, and unstable lava surfaces that are subject to collapse. Sulfur dioxide, SO2, gas emissions have greatly decreased from lower East Rift Zone vents, but high levels of SO2 may persist in downwind areas. Tephra, fragments of glassy lava, have accumulated to thicknesses of more than several feet near Fissure 8. This material breaks down over time into small, glassy particles that can be blown on the wind and create an eye, respiratory, and skin irritant. Disturbing the tephra by sweeping, shoveling, or driving over it will break the fragile pieces into a glassy dust. The tephra can also conceal underlying hazards such as ground cracks, holes, and debris from destroyed structures. The lower East Rift Zone ocean entry is minimally active at this time, but continued lays and lava delta collapses remain a concern. Hydrovolcanic explosions are much less of a concern now, as they require high eruption rates with lava entering the ocean, but they may still occur. At the summit, additional earthquakes, rockfalls, and ground cracking can occur with no warning. Steep crater walls destabilized by months of earthquakes could be prone to collapse for weeks or months to come, even without further ground shaking. Summit SO2 emission rates are lower than at any time since late 2007 and are not currently a hazard. Resuspended ash in the summit region remains a local hazard during strong winds. As the summit continues to adjust to changes in the underlying magmatic system, additional and potentially damaging earthquakes are possible. Hawaii is known for frequent earthquakes, so all residents should be prepared for damaging earthquakes. If magma returns to the shallow reservoir beneath Kilauea Summit, groundwater could encounter subsurface regions of high temperature, prompting explosions of uncertain size. More dangerous explosive activity at the summit remains very unlikely in the near term. For more information, see a link. I will include it in the description. Aftershocks from the May 4th, 2018 6.9 magnitude earthquake below Kilauea's south flank will continue for months more and could produce moderate damaging events at any time. The Hawaii Volcano Observatory will continue to closely monitor Kilauea's activity, including overflights of the rift zone and summit as needed, supplemented with unmanned aerial system flights and daily visual observations. Field crews will be deployed into the lower east rift zone and the summit areas to collect data and to install and repair monitoring instruments. HVO will continue to issue daily updates and additional messages as needed. The next status report will be issued tomorrow morning unless significant changes occur. And that'll pretty much do it for the USGS report. I'm going to skip the EPA air monitoring report tonight, and I'm going to skip the earthquake report simply because there's really nothing to talk about there. SO2 levels are at their lowest. Sensors reading basically 0. No new quakes for the most part, nothing significant anyways. So yeah, what I am going to do now though is we're not going to do the look at that there either tonight, because I want to talk about the report actually. So the first question I want to pose basically is, what does all this mean? Basically what I think the USGS is saying is that they see no signs of any more activity in the rift zone at this point. Doesn't mean there won't be, or there couldn't be, or there will be. It just means that there's currently no indications that there's any magma movement through the rift zone or even through the magma system itself. The Kilauea summit has relatively went quiet, except for some of the small little quakes, which are triggered by rock falls or things like that. There was no lava eruption out of Fissure 8 or any other fissure systems. Yes, they're still steaming and smoking, and that could go on for a very long time, because even though there's no lava erupting from the fissures, down that fissure line underground there is a channel system, a tube system if you want to call it that, that is full of still molten hot red lava. There's just no pressure behind it through gases, through surface pressure of summit collapses, or even enough left in the reservoir that can drain down the fissure system to force more lava up. So it's basically took the place of the magma that was left over from the 1955 eruption. Because they did say in the beginning that was the first lava we saw, which is why it was lava, because it was cooler and older. So basically, what we've seen is that so far at this point, what we've seen is that the 55 reservoir that was left in the rift zone has been replaced by the 2018 eruption infusion, which is kind of interesting. It's recycled itself, so to speak. And so that's basically what's going on. Now, could there be more eruptions? Yes. At this point, does it look like there's going to be? Probably no. Can't say definitively, either way. It's a volcano. You can't really predict, not with our current science and technology. Well, we may have the technology where we could do it if it was utilized by the right companies and agencies and stuff of that nature. But that's another video in its own. So anyways, until we start seeing some other activity, some other signs, we have no choice but to just accept it for what it is and know that this could happen again in days, weeks, months, or even possibly years. Is the volcano ever going to stop erupting? No. Is this ever going to be over? No. And that's something that really gets me, is that I've in the reports and stuff that USGS said months to years this could occur, But, in reality, this has been occurring all along. It's a volcano. Kilauea Volcano is famous for being one of the longest continuing erupting volcanoes on the planet. So, did this start 3 months ago? No, this started 3,500, 1,000, 10,000 years ago. Is it going to stop anytime soon? No. Are we going to have pauses and lulls? Yes. And this is why USGS says it's pauses and lulls, but not an end to the eruption, because they know that Kilauea is a continuously erupting volcano. However, it goes through periods of, activity and then periods of rest. And it just had a very long period of activity with Pahoa for 35 years. So maybe we're fixing to see a period of rest, or maybe this was just, it clearing its throat, so to speak, and the really big one's coming. We don't know. And we won't know until, you've heard me say it before, we won't know what we got until we got it. And that's just the reality of a volcano. And that'll do it for tonight's update. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it already, and the bell icon if you want notifications when I make new updates or post other videos, which I'm going to actually start doing, which is one of the little announcements I wanted to make before I bring the video to a complete close. Obviously, there's not much going to be happening unless something significantly changes. So I will probably not be doing a update report every night. I will probably be doing one every other night, or maybe every couple, skip a night, maybe 3 a week. I don't know. I'm going to watch, see what happens. And don't worry, I'll keep you informed and updated on what I'm going to do in that respect. But in between the updates, I'm going to try to do some other things. Had other ideas thrown at me through by y'all in earlier videos. So we're going to explore some of those and see if we can't, do some other really interesting things. And let's show you some more of Hawaii other than the volcano, because there really is a lot here, and it is all very amazing. So hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, because I really hope you did. And don't forget to check out my Redbubble Smug Mug and all the other wonderful links that are in the description. And y'all have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. This has been the Kilauea Eruption and Leilani Estates update for August 14th, 2018.